Imagine receiving a pay raise and somehow feeling poorer. Your salary is higher than it was a few years ago. The economy is still growing. Businesses are investing billions of dollars. Unemployment may not look disastrous, and politicians continue pointing to numbers that suggest America is doing reasonably well. But then you open your banking app, your rent or mortgage take the first major bite. Groceries cost more than you remember. Electricity, insurance, healthcare, transportation consume what remains. And a simple family dinner, a car repair, or an unexpected medical bill can suddenly push the entire month into debt. So, if America's economy is growing, why do so many Americans feel broke? The answer is not that people have forgotten how to manage money, it is that the price of an ordinary American life has changed, and millions of incomes have struggled to keep up. To understand this contradiction, imagine a typical American household: two adults working together, one or two children, a modest home or rented apartment, one or two cars because public transportation is limited, health insurance through an employer, nothing luxurious. On paper, this household may earn more than it did in 2020, but its financial life is controlled by a handful of unavoidable expenses: housing, food, transportation, healthcare, utilities, and insurance. When all of those costs rise together, a higher salary does not necessarily create a better life. It simply helps the household remain in the same place. And that is where America affordability crisis began. Between January 2020 and June 2026, overall consumer prices increased by roughly 29%. This does not mean everything became exactly 29% more expensive. Some prices increased less, others increased much more. But it means that a lifestyle costing $4,000 per month at the beginning of 2020 could require approximately $5,160 to maintain today. That is almost $14,000 in additional spending every year just to live at roughly the same standard. This also explains why falling inflation has not brought back the old feeling of affordability. Inflation measures how quickly prices are increasing. When inflation falls, prices usually do not return to their previous levels, they simply rise more slowly. Think of it like a car. If the car slows from 80 miles per hour to 30, it has not moved backward, it is still traveling forward. Prices work the same way. By June 2026, annual inflation was running at 3.5%. That was far below the peak reached during the inflation surge. But it still meant prices were increasing from an already much higher starting point. For families, the damage was not only the speed of inflation, it was the distance prices had already traveled. The next part of the story is income. American wages have increased in dollar terms, but what matters is purchasing power. How much those wages can actually buy. From June 2025 to June 2026, real average hourly earnings for all private sector workers increased by only about 0.1%. For production and non-supervisory workers, real hourly earnings declined slightly. In other words, after adjusting for inflation, the average worker made almost no meaningful progress during that year. That creates a strange experience. The number on a worker's paycheck becomes larger, but the amount left after essential bills may be barely changed. A promotion can feel less like moving ahead and more like preventing yourself from falling behind. But no expense demonstrate this problem more clearly than housing. For decades, home ownership represented the central promise of the American middle class. Work hard, save for a down payment, buy a home and gradually build wealth. Today, that path has become far more difficult. In June 2026, the median price of an existing American home reached approximately $440,000. At the beginning of August, the average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage stood at 6.69%. At that price and interest rate, Even a buyer with a 20% down payment could face principal and interest payments of more than $2,200 per month. Property taxes, homeowners, insurance, maintenance, and association fees could push the real monthly cost considerably higher. And saving a 20% down payment would require more than $88,000. For many families, that is not a down payment, it is an impossible wall. Renting does not necessarily provide an escape. According to Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies, 22.7 million rented households, about 49% of all renters, were cost burdened in 2024. That means they spent more than 30% of their income on housing. More than 12 million renter households were severely burdened, spending over half their income on housing. Consider what that means in daily life. After paying rent, a severely burdened household may have less than half of income available for food, transportation, childcare, healthcare, utilities, debt payments, and saving. One unexpected expense can then become a financial emergency. Housing not simply another bill, it determines how much room remains for almost everything else. Then come transportation. In much of America, owning a car is not optional. People need it to reach work, buy groceries, take children to school, and attend medical appointments. The purchase price is only the beginning. A household must also pay for fuel, maintenance, repairs, registration, financing, and insurance. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American consumer unit spent about $78,000 in 2024. Housing consumed roughly one third of that spending, while transportation took another 17%. Together, those two categories absorb more than half of average expenditure before food, healthcare, or other necessities enter the calculation. Healthcare creates another layer of pressure. In 2025, the average annual premium for employer-sponsored family health coverage approached $27,000. Employer paid most of that amount, but workers still contribute an average of $6,800 for their paychecks. And premiums are only the entrance fee. Families may still face deductibles, co-payments, prescriptions, dental treatment, and services that their insurance does not fully cover. This is why a household can technically have health insurance and still fear getting sick. Healthcare costs do more than remove money from a bank account, they create uncertainty. Families delay treatment, avoid tests, or hope that a medical problem disappear because discovering the answer could produce a bill they cannot afford. Food is smaller than housing or healthcare, but people notice it more frequently. A family encounters grocery price every week. Each visit becomes a reminder that the same cart no longer carry the same amount. Families respond by changing brands, buying less meat, reducing snacks, avoiding restaurants, or planning meal around discounted products. Individually, these adjustments may appear small. Together, they represent a decline in everyday living standards. This is why official statistics and personal experience can tell different stories. Gross domestic product measures the total value produced by the economy. It does not measure whether every household can afford rent. In the second quarter of 2026, real American GDP grew at an annual rate of 1.5%. The economy was expanding, but economic growth is an average, not a personal bank statement. A country can produce more wealth while that wealth reaches different groups in very different ways. A homeowner who purchases property before prices and mortgage rates surge may have a manageable payment and substantial equality. A first-time buyer entering the same market today face a much higher price and borrowing cost. An investor with stocks may benefit when large companies grow. A renter without investment may experience the same economy mainly through higher bills. Both people live under the same national statistics, but they do not live in the same financial reality. As households hold budget tighten, debt fill the gap. By the first quarter of 2026, total American household debt had reached approximately $18.8 trillion. Not all debt is a sign of trouble. Mortgage can help families purchase homes, and loans can finance education or businesses. But credit card increasingly become a bridge between income and essential expenses. The bridge feel helpful at first. A family places groceries, fuel, or repair on a credit card and promise to pay it off next month. But next month bring another rent payment, another grocery bill, and another unexpected cost. The temporary solution become a permanent monthly payment. The Federal Reserve found that only 63% of Americans adults could cover a $400 emergency expense entirely using cash or its equivalent. That leave more than one third who would need to borrow, sell something, delay another payment, or find another way to survive a relatively modest financial shock. This is the real meaning of feeling broke. It does not always mean having a no income. It means having no margin for medical bill, no margin for a car repair, no margin to miss a week of work, no margin to save for a home, start a family, or prepare for retirement. The household is functioning, but only while nothing goes wrong. That is also why telling people to simply stop buying coffee does not solve the larger problem. Personal financial discipline matters. A budget can identify waste, prevent unnecessary debt, and create savings. But no number of cancelled subscriptions can fully compensate for rent increase of several $100, a major healthcare bill, or childcare that cost as much as second mortgage. America's affordability crisis is partially personal, but it is also structural. The country needs more housing where people actually work. Healthcare prices need to become clearer and more competitive. Workers needed access to skill and productivity gain that translate into stronger wages. Transportation, childcare, insurance must stop consuming such a large share of middle class income. None of these changes will happen instantly, but the first step is understanding that the economy is not experienced through a GDP report, it is experienced at the kitchen table. Return to the household we imagine at the beginning. The parents are earning more than they did 6 years ago. They are working, paying taxes, and trying to make responsible decisions. From the outside, they may look financially successful, but after housing, food, transportation, healthcare, utilities, and debt, there is almost nothing left. They are not necessarily poor, they are trapped between an income that moves slowly and a cost of living that moves much faster. That is why Americans can live in one of the wealthiest countries in human history and still feel unable to get ahead. The American economy may be growing, the official numbers may improve, inflation may eventually return to more normal rate, but the true test of an economy is not simply how much wealth it produces. It is whether an ordinary person can build a stable life inside it. Whether a worker can afford a home, whether a parent can take a sick child to a doctor without fearing the bill, whether a family can survive a $400 emergency, and whether working harder still create the possibility of moving forward. Because when the economic dashboard is green, but the household budget is red, the kitchen table will always feel more real. So, do you believe the American dream is still affordable, or has it quietly become a luxury? Share your experience in the comments and subscribe for more documentaries explaining the forces reshaping everyday life.